Good morning, students. So we have started this chapter for work and energy, and in this chapter, so far we have discussed few contents, like we have discussed about the work, then its measurement, then what were the factors that affect the work, and then we have started the energy, and we are discussing the various forms of energy. So in this we have covered till kinetic energy, as well as we have discussed about the potential energy. So in today's video we will resume our discussion from factors that were affecting gravitational potential energy. So there are two main things that determine the amount of gravitational potential energy of an object. First one is the mass of an object. That is, if the mass of an object is more, in that case potential energy will also be more. Second is distance of it from the surface of the earth. So farther an object can fall, the more gravitational potential energy it will be having. Okay, let's see the example. So in this diagram you can see the two spheres are having the same mass, that is 500 Newton, same weight, that is 500 Newton. And now it is very much clear from this figure that their heights are different. So in that case, the blue sphere is having the more potential energy, in spite of the fact they both are having the same weight, but as the height of this blue sphere is more, it will have the more potential energy. In the second diagram, the sphere blue is having the weight of 500 Newton, and whereas sphere green is having the weight of 600 Newton, and they are standing at the same height. But since the mass of this green one is more than the weight of this green one is more than the weight of the red one, so it will have the more potential energy. So we can deduce this fact that potential energy, gravitational potential energy, depends on the two factors. First one is the mass and second one is the height. Now conversion of potential energy into the kinetic energy. So you can see from this figure, a girl is standing on the top of the wall and it is holding a ball in her hand. So when it is held in her hand, due to the height of this ball from this point to this point, it possesses some gravitational potential energy. As she throws the ball, so what happens? This ball starts moving in the downward direction due to the gravitational force of attraction of the earth, and due to which the potential energy of this ball is now transforming into the kinetic energy. And when it reaches the ground, it is having the maximum kinetic energy. So we can say that potential energy can be converted into the kinetic energy if an object is released from a certain height, because the potential energy is directly proportional to the height, and energy can neither be created nor it can be destroyed. So when you release an object from a height, what happens? Its potential energy starts decreasing, and when it starts decreasing, definitely another energy should also increase. So that increase of energy will be the kinetic energy, and kinetic energy starts increasing. Second potential energy, second form of potential energy is elastic potential energy. So as the name suggests, elastic, it is the stored energy of the body due to the position of the object. So in this photograph you can see the man is stretching the string of a bow. So what actually he is doing, he is storing the elastic potential energy in the string of the bow. So when the string has been released, what happens? Its elastic potential energy is converted into the kinetic energy of the arrow, and this arrow starts moving in the forward direction. So in this example also we can easily see that due to the stored elastic potential energy, the arrow is moving in the forward direction as the string is released, and this potential energy has to be converted into some sort of energy, and it is converted into the kinetic energy. More is the stretching of a bow, the more distance this arrow is going to cover, or the more kinetic energy this arrow will be having. One more example is there. In this photo you can see a ball is placed on the compressed spring. So when this spring is compressed, that means it is actually descendant from its original length. So when this spring is released, what happens? When this spring is compressed, it possesses some elastic potential energy, and as we see in the previous example also in the bow and arrow, when the string was stretched, it possesses some elastic potential energy. Similarly in this case also, when the spring is compressed, it possesses some elastic potential energy. Now when the spring is released, what happens? Its potential energy starts decreasing, and hence it will convert it into the kinetic energy of the spring, and this kinetic energy is transformed into this ball, and this ball flies away on releasing the spring. So in this example also we can see that the stored potential energy is actually converting into the kinetic energy. So spring possesses the potential energy. On releasing the spring, the ball flies away due to the convert of potential energy into kinetic energy. Okay, one more very familiar example, hydropower plant. In this, the water has been stored in the reservoir, has some potential energy. When the water falls on the large turbine, when the water is released from this point, it starts flowing. Hence, the potential energy of the water has been started to convert it into the kinetic energy of the water. So, this water then falls on the turbine, and this potential energy is converted into the kinetic energy of the turbine. As a result, turbine starts rotating, and this turbine is coupled to the generator. So this generator shaft of the generator also starts rotating, and the electricity is produced. So this was one of the example of conversion of potential energy into the kinetic energy. Then the roller coaster. So this is a very familiar example. In this car is moving, having the maximum kinetic energy. Then it reaches this point. This is the point where there will be the maximum potential energy, and hence kinetic energy will be 0. Then at this point again it is having the maximum kinetic energy and the 0 potential energy. Then at this point kinetic energy plus potential energy remains the same. Similarly again at the lowest point it is having the maximum kinetic energy. So as you can see in this small demonstrative video roller coaster, it is moving from one point to another. Now let's discuss it in steps. So when it moves to point 1, you can see it is having the maximum potential energy. When it moves from point 1 to point 2, whole of its potential energy has been converted into the kinetic energy. Now due to this possessed kinetic energy, again it moves to point 3 and it is start gaining some potential energy. From point 3 to point 4, now it is having potential energy plus kinetic energy, but potential energy is greater than the kinetic energy. From point 4 to point 5, again its maximum potential energy has been converted into the maximum kinetic energy, and there is 0 zero potential energy at point 5. Again at point 6, its kinetic energy starts converting into the potential energy. So it is very clear from this video that each and every point the sum of potential energy as well as kinetic energy remains constant throughout the motion of the roller coaster. One more example of conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy is a simple pendulum. So simple pendulum is a small massless bob which is attached to an inextensible string, and you can see in this figure that point B and point C are known as the extreme position. Why they are known as the extreme position? Because at these points this bob possesses the maximum potential energy, and this point A is known as the mean position because at this point the bob possesses the maximum kinetic energy. So when you took the bob from point A to C and then you release it, what happens? It will start oscillating from point C to point A. So from here the maximum potential energy starts converting into the kinetic energy. On reaching the point A, it is having the maximum kinetic energy and zero potential energy. Again it will move to point B. Again its maximum kinetic energy starts converting into the maximum potential energy, and again it reaches the point A. So this completes one oscillation. So when we calculate, we came to know that sum of potential energy plus kinetic energy between A and C and A and B are always same. So again the potential energy has been converted into the kinetic energy. Now next is power. So what actually is power? We have discussed work. Work is said to be done when an object starts moving in the direction of the force. Then we have discussed about the energy. Energy was the ability of the body to do some useful work. Now how fast or how slow a work has been done, it is indicated by this quantity that is known as power. So suppose there are two porters A and B, and A takes 1 minute to do the work. A takes 1 minute to do the work and B takes 2 minutes to do the same work. So in order to know they both are doing the same work and they both are spending some energy, but when we talk about the power, so we can say that since B is taking only 1 minute, so suppose there are two porters and A and B takes 1 minute to do a work and A takes 2 minutes to do the same work. Now since they both are doing the same amount of work, but when we calculate who is doing the work faster, so definitely we came to know that B is more powerful than A since it is taking the 1 minute. So this brings to the expression of the power, that is power is actually work done upon time taken. So in the previous case, since work done was same but porter B is taking only 1 minute, hence it is said to be more powerful than A. Now coming to the SI unit of power, so SI unit of work is joule, SI unit of time is second, so its SI unit becomes joule per second, and in also called as watt, names after the scientist James Watt, so it is denoted by capital W, watt. Now let's define 1 watt. So power N of object is said to be 1 watt when it does 1 joule of work in 1 second. So since joule is watt is a very small unit, so there is one more practical unit that is used very oftenly and you must have seen, that is known as the horsepower, and 1 horsepower is equals to 746 watts. So power of electric motors and engines are usually measured in terms of horsepower. We are not using the terms watt or joule per second. we are using the term as horsepower for the electric motors, and you must also have seen that whenever any uh, whenever any car launched or any uh, motorcycle has been launched, its engine's power has been indicated in terms of horsepower. Now, what were the factors that affect the power spent by the source? So, since power is work done upon time taken, so we can say that the factors which affect the power is amount of work done by the source and time taken by the source to do the said work. So